Julie and I were, I think, interested in founding a company just based on very similar ideas about culture and values. So I'm an electronic engineer and she's a computer scientist. And these were really great complementary skills. And we were able to then offer turnkey solutions to large industrial companies, from control and automation at the equipment level all the way up to advanced web-based solutions. And we cross many industry verticals: mining, material handling, rail and port, forestry and agriculture, and of course in many different countries. And it was really a fun, successful time. But with this, of course, came very complicated compliance regulations across the various industries and countries and site-specific requirements. And so our project managers spent more time running around trying to coordinate all of these projects and manage compliance, that we eventually, it just made more sense to develop a digital solution to basically run that whole side of the business. And that's how HSEC Online was born. So basically there are two entities: the engineering portion and the HSEC Online portion, which is a sort of health, safety, compliance, regulatory management solution. But the beauty about this is that between the two entities, the engineering portion fully utilizes the HSEC Online solution. So in that way, it's quite incredible that we can actually be our very own critics on the product that we're trying to sell.
How is your company helping to shape the future of mining in Africa?
Well, we're not just in Africa. We're in fact featured all across the world now. And just to add to that, we're not just in mining. So we have a relatively large footprint across most industry verticals. So where compliance is required, HSEC Online can be fully configured to 100% meet those compliance requirements. But if we're speaking specifically to mining and specifically in Africa, digitization is crucial. I mean, it's the only way to enhance operational efficiency, to ensure sustainability and to address the growing demand for transparency in these organizations. So by automating processes and providing real-time data, digital solutions like HSEC Online and many others, it simply enable better decision-making. It minimizes our downtime on a site and obviously reduces cost. But I think most importantly, it greatly improves the mine's reputation. Solutions like HSEC Online, it just empower mines to manage vast amounts of compliance and safety data, and it does it really effectively. And the byproduct of all of this is the collaboration between the stakeholders and, very importantly, the contractors who are physically on site and have a high likelihood of being injured or getting ill. And of course, this improves the overall performance from a site perspective.
What makes Saryx's cloud-based solution, HSEC Online, unique in streamlining compliance management for mining companies?
Well, I think the most important thing is that it works effectively. We've come across many solutions that are simply clumsy and frustrating to use. And I think this comes about because of the vast practical experience in building solutions for corporates over the many years that we did it when the company was still a software engineering solutions provider. And we did this for a lot of industries. So we understand technology. We are also the contractors with many frustrating hours of trying to get a manual safety file approved under our belts. Many hours of doing that. So we know what the pain points are. We live it every day and are therefore able to solve these problems really effectively because we are on the receiving end. We also have the technical ability to solve these problems. So, of course, it's obvious that we're committed to delivering a practical, smart, innovative solution. That goes without saying, but we also want to follow this up with competitive pricing and an excellent after-sales support. So, and in addition to those, we also have a customer success team that is there to advise, listen and resolve issues directly with our clients on site. And our executive team is very encouraging on engaging with these corporates to really solve their very real on-site practical problems. And we are prepared to sit down and do just that. And when that happens, it's magic. And I think that is, I think that makes us incredibly unique.
That you can actually sit sort of at the coalface with people, figure out what the problem is and actually make a difference.
Absolutely. And not only that, we experience the problem because we're still executing engineering projects on these sites. So not as a HSEC Online consultant or supplier or, we are actually the engineers on site, trying to implement, automated and control systems for tipplers and ship loaders. So we understand what contractors are facing. And I think when you can see both sides of the coin, it's very easy, to come up with a solution, to generate a solution that's really, really successful. And then to have the technical ability and know how to do it is just an added advantage. We find that a lot of people who don't have the internal skills, it's really what we've done right from the start, don't have the internal skills to create a software solution. These have to be sort of, outsized resources that they have to utilize. We sort of got it all in one, which just makes it so easy to create something really practical, efficient, and that really addresses the solutions or the problems that we face as contractors, especially.
What are some of the hidden costs of using a manual safety system, and why should mining companies seek digital solutions to health and safety management?
So I think if you're a mining company that still relies on a manual safety system, you've got several hidden costs. And I think the biggest of these are, number one, human error and inconsistencies. There's no doubt. If you have a paper-based or spreadsheet system, these are prone to errors in data entry, misinterpretation of reports, inconsistent compliance tracking. All these are human error. And then you've also got the misfiled or lost safety records. And these can, when you really need them, can lead to regulatory penalties and increased liability. You have inefficiency and lost production, and this is through manual reporting and incident tracking that takes time away from your critical operations. I mean, workers spend hours filling out paperwork instead of actually focusing on hazard mitigation or safety improvements. And then if you don't have a digitized system, you have delayed incident response and investigation. So there's slow communication, which can delay emergency response and corrective actions. And then paper-based reports take longer to analyze. And this just increases the risk of a repeat incident. You've obviously got your compliance risk and legal liability. So we know that mining is incredibly heavily regulated, and we've seen it in real time. Incomplete and outdated records can result in hefty fines. Compliance in real time can really lead to terrible legal disputes and reputational damage, which we're trying to avoid. And then there are the high administration costs. So this is probably 5 out of 6 of the hidden costs. Safety personnel spend significant time on manual data entry, report generation, compliance tracking. I mean, staff take longer to analyze a single safety file, checking the paperwork and ensuring the accuracy than a digital system would do for an entire plant. And then you've got limited insights and decision-making. Manual systems do not provide real-time analytics, so it makes it harder to identify safety trends and the risks. So companies miss opportunities to proactively prevent accidents and improve their safety culture. So I think those are the biggest sort of hidden costs that a mining company that still uses manual systems would face.
Mm-hmm. Just bringing in AI into a system like yours, what sort of impact could AI have on a system like yours to make things easier, or what are the challenges that it would bring?
So I think AI has to be used in a really thoughtful way. When we introduce AI into HSEC Online, we do it for very practical reasons. We also have to consider the legal implications of AI. If you're approving documents, through an AI bot, and that document is incorrectly approved for some reason or other, who is the responsible party when something goes wrong? So you really do have to be sort of, practical when implementing AI. We certainly don't think AI for AI's, sake. But I think AI-driven analytics really helps prevent and predict accidents before they happen. So we can start to see a trend in terms of an increase in certain types of incidences or a reporting of a near miss repetitively, and we can actually use AI to start to predict and to start to warn and maybe encourage additional training on that specific topics. We can actually, the digitization adoption period where you're actually loading documents into into HSEC Online can be exhausting. So we can actually use AI to actually recognize the information on the document, have you confirm, fill it out automatically for you, and just have you confirm the information before approving it. And this will avoid any typing. If there is something that it's identified incorrectly, then you have that ability to make that correction. But this generally speeds things up, a lot quicker when uploading documents. So there's definitely cost savings, efficiency gains, enhanced worker safety, incident prevention. I think all of those, AI can be extremely useful in all of those.
Finally, can you tell us about your recent successes in the African mining industry?
I could tell you about many successes in the African mining industry, but what I really want to discuss is the two key aspects about those successes that are mentioned over and over again. The first is the rapid implementation speed. So what we're really successful is our speed in rolling out implementations. I think it's unmatched. So, for example, on a mining site, we successfully implemented HSEC Online across 9 sites in 3 months. We were ready to go live. And similarly, in a food and beverage environment, for example, another 9 sites were implemented in approximately the same time. And this just showcases our efficiency across various industries. And I think that's really important because there's always a bit of a negative reaction towards change, how long it's going to, adoption to take. And we can really implement and change a company's profile from manual to digital in 3 months. That's including the training and the administrative adoption. And then the second incident where we're really successful, and I think this is probably the most important one, is our impact on incident investigation. So one of the most powerful benefits of digitization is how it transforms accident and fatality investigations. Quick and accurate access to essential documents enables companies to conclude investigations faster. So it reduces this emotional burden on all those involved. No one wants to go through this process. But when you have real-time, reliable data, it makes it really easy to navigate. And beyond that, it helps companies minimize, those fines and downtime. So, delivering that tangible operational and financial benefit that you can see when you're going through one of those investigations. The feedback we've received has been overwhelmingly positive. So it just reinforces HSEC Online's ability to constantly deliver when it matters most. And so I think that those are the two important success stories that come out of every success story from clients.